In a world where power, fame, and influence dictate one's fate, a man who is considered trash emerges as the best among the rest. Let's witness the life of Bai Luochen when he was reincarnated in a fantasy world as the miscalculated master of power, and his journey to becoming the hero that nobody expects him to be. Somewhere in an unknown fantasy world lies the Azure Bird Peak. Here, a man named Bai Luochen has been chopping wood for 10 years. He manages to get the title of Sink of Chopping Firewood in his 10th year in this place. Well, who would not be given such recognition after chopping 3.65 million firewood? He probably has this mantra that chopping firewood a day makes you a saint someday. Here is his quick backstory. Originally, he was from Earth, but as the common tragic cliche in this world, he suffered from an unfortunate fate, just like what Aunt Ursula always sings. Those poor unfortunate souls, so sad, so true. Then, he was reborn in a fantasy world, and he even became a teacher of the runic seal department in the King Han Academy. At some point in his life in this world, he tried to hack the system to control things and get his dream life. Little did he know that the system he hacked was a firewood chopping system. Oh, bro doesn't want to play fair and square, so he gets despair. One day, a flying messenger entered Bai Luochen's realm and informed him that the Front Mountain Palace examination had started and the headmaster was expecting him to be there already. He knows that even if he goes to the examination area, he will not get any disciple due to his realm's status. He asked the messenger to leave, and guess what? He did not go. Instead, he checks if the dragon he wants to eat is fat enough to satisfy his hunger. Come on, bro, you've got a job to do. Meanwhile, several aspiring examiners attended the Front Mountain Palace examination, hoping to be part of the sword arts department. Whoa, this must be the same department that Kirito and Asuna attended, but they probably chose to go online instead. A man named Jiang Himing is flattered and delighted to see that many people want to join his realm. Well, he is the cream of the crop who always stays on top, considering he easily gains 500 disciples in just one day. On the other hand, Bai Luochen's spot doesn't have a single examiner. Plus, he is not even around. That being said, all of the other realm rulers like him and Jiang Himing start to feel wrong about him. In fact, they envy him for having the best location for a realm. Jiang Himing can no longer keep his cool, so he lashes out his disappointment at the headmaster about Bai Luochen's incapacity as a realm teacher. Li Kuangshi, the headmaster, reminded them that Bai Luochen had lost all of his cultivation and spent 10 years in the revolving light stage to protect the academy. Wait a minute. Looks like our Sing of Chopping Firewood had a heroic moment in the past. Well, we should not really judge a book by its cover. This, however, did not stop them from protesting against his position as a realm teacher. In the middle of the rising commotion, Bai Luochen arrives and immediately gets mocked by Jiang Himing for getting injured by a snake. This made him look even more incompetent in the eyes of several examiners. However, the beautiful girl wearing super body-fit Chinese clothing feels differently about the snake. Turns out that it's just a level away from becoming a deadly and dangerous dragon. Jiang Himing challenges him that if he doesn't get a single disciple that day, he has to resign as a realm teacher. Dang it, looks like Jiang Himing is up for bad scheming. Bai Luochen, on the other hand, told them that he had the intention to resign even before he suggested it. The headmaster stopped him, but he had already made up his mind to give up his teaching position. What the heck? He feels so defeated even before the war starts. After hearing this, the headmaster starts declaring Bai Luochen's resignation from his position. However, he was stopped by the same girl earlier. She stated her willingness to learn under Bai Luochen's teaching. Most of the people in that place expressed disapproval of her decision. She is even bribed by Jiang Himing, which she immediately refuses. This makes Jiang Himing think that they are planning something against him. Brah, are you for real? It's not always about you. This guy seems too afraid of his own ghost. When Bai Luochen asked for why she wanted to study under him, it was revealed through her thoughts that she was a reincarnation of an immortal, but couldn't disclose it to anyone. Also, she saw that the snake was one level away from being a dragon. This is a type of dragon that even she would have a hard time defeating, even when she was immortal. Thus, she wants to genuinely learn from a true master cultivator of power like Bai Luochen. Since everything sounds good, the headmaster advises them to return to their respective realms. The girl then introduces herself as Su Liyue, and both of them enter the portal to their realm. Upon arrival at Bai Luochen's realm and seeing its surrounding, Su Liyue feels skeptical about his decision. Don't doubt it, girl. Be firm with your decision, thrive in ambiguity, and be fearless in facing the unknown. Not long after, Bai Luochen informs her that there are 4 rules she needs to be aware of under his instruction. First, they don't plan any lessons, as they focus more on self-awareness. Second, they are free to come and go as they like, and there is no need to report where they will go or what they will do. Third, they lack cultivation resources because of the lack of students. Then the fourth one is something he has not figured out yet. Why am I not surprised? Well, that's very Mr. Bai. Then he gives her some books that contain everything she needs to know about runic seals, and a place to stay. Later on, he prepared the snake dragon he had defeated earlier. Behold Chef Bai's roasted snake dragon meat in medium rare. Su Li Yue started to smell the roasted dragon snake, and she felt a strong desire to savor the taste of dragon meat. Perhaps we can reverse the saying, a way to a woman's heart is through her nose. She also realizes that she's been cultivating for thousands of years, but she has never tasted dragon meat even once. She then sets aside her pride and takes the opportunity to ask her master to have some of it. However, Bai Luochen quickly refuses. She was persistent in wanting to taste the dragon meat, so he gave her the stick to have a lick. Wow, that's one epic rhyme. She's so thick, she received his stick for her to lick at the mountain peak. He explains why he is not giving her a portion of the meat. She was so disappointed and anxious at the same time, but since she craved it, she decided to give it a try. Well, as they say, curiosity kills the cat. Right after she licks the stick, she feels an immense amount of spiritual energy flowing through her body, which she can't handle at all. Uh-oh, to me that looks like she had an orga-censored kind of moment. After that nerve-wracking experience, Bai Luochen reminded her not to be greedy, for one lick a day is enough for her. What the fudge? That is sus. Not to mention, the way she licks that stick is extremely sus. Upon realizing how dangerous it is to eat dragon meat, she thanks her master for the opportunity and carries on with the day. Meanwhile, two suspicious guys are approaching Bai Luochen's portal. They are from the beast taming department, and they want to steal a horse raised by Bai Luochen for themselves. Boys, remember the 8th commandment, thou shalt not steal. Little did the two thieves know Su Li Yue felt their presence, and she had already discovered their evil plan. One of them uses a potion like incense to make the horse fall asleep. Then they sense an immense power coming from a girl. Whoa, Miss Su, that aura looks familiar. Are you Son Goku's descendant? One of the thieves said she should return to her room and not meddle in someone else's business. She then warns the thieves not to dare touch any of Bai Luochen's belongings in her presence. I'll give you a perfect 10, Miss Su. Your integrity and loyalty are remarkable. One of the thieves attacks her. He was ready to grab Su Li Yue's body, but it did not happen as she managed to dodge his attack and successfully gave him the highly powerful one-leg kick. I would love to call that a jaw-breaking kick. After losing his cool, he was so pumped up to destroy the girl. He releases his flaming aura and attacks her. She did not bother and prepared to attack him as well. When he comes closer to her, she delivers another one-leg critical kick strike charged with burning blue flames. He was thrown in midair, spinning, and his arm was severely injured from the impact. Not to mention, the kick he received comes with a blue fire that burns his spiritual energy. Well, that's Su Li Yue for you, Mr. Thief. Angry about the defeat of his senior brother, the other thief wants her to pay for what happened and immediately attacks her. Little did they know Bai Luochen woke up from the commotion and activated a silencing array spell. This is like a ceiling barrier with a noise-canceling effect, and it prevents anyone from fleeing the fight. Realizing what spell that was, Su Li Yue did not hold back and did her best to beat the snot out of these thieves. Moments later, the two thieves, with their extremely deformed swollen faces, went straight to Xiang Sheng. He is the eldest senior of the beast taming department. They actually came to report what happened. They promised their senior brother to steal the horse again once they get fully recovered. How undignified. The audacity of these thieves to declare another attempt to steal someone else's property is getting on my nerves. Xiang Sheng gave the two some kind of potion that could restore them back to full health. He told them to rest and leave the rest to him. He immediately releases an order to gather and go to Azure Bird Peak. However, they were stopped by his junior. He explains that attacking Elder Bai is a big mistake. They want to make it look like she is the one who started the fight. Since they have a more credible reputation, they are confident that the majority will believe them more than Bai Luochen. This way, they could put so much pressure on Bai Luochen, and it could give them an opportunity to frame his disciple. Then on top of it, they can demand the horse from him in exchange for the misconduct of his disciple. Such schemy bastards. Looks like the beast in their department's name runs naturally in their blood. The next day, while Bai Luochen is chopping firewood, he asks Su Li Yue if she has managed to read the book that he gave her yesterday. Stunned by the question, she couldn't answer him directly. Hoops, someone is caught off guard. With all honesty, she tells him that her spiritual energy was depleted after reading half a page. What's worse is she could not even understand what was written on it. Surprisingly, Bai Luochen got surprised by her report. Su Liyue expresses her apologies for disappointing her master. Bai Luochen, however, tells her that she is mistaken. He was, in fact, happy and surprised that she managed to read half of a page. He also tells her that he thought she would only be able to read a few questions. That, to me, sounds like he's belittling her. Embarrassed by what she heard, she asks him if he thinks she is stupid. Bai Luochen, in contrast, explains to her that book is a collection of his own runes and seal characters, which pleasantly surprises her. He actually expects no one to understand it at all, so having someone who manages to read half a page in just one night impresses him. As a reward, he gave her a token that she could level up to gain access to more martial scripts. Whoa, who would think that Mr. Bai is a generous guy? On the other hand, Su Liyue is not interested in other martial scripts, for she has been reading them for thousands of years. She would rather have Bai Luochen's unique book than the others. That's a wise choice, Miss Su. Moments later, Bai Luochen felt an ominous presence at the entrance of Azure Bird Peak. Su Liyue tells him that it might be due to what happened last night. They went straight to the entrance to see what was happening. It turns out that the guys from the beast taming department reported the twisted truth to the law enforcement hall. Then they went there to arrest Su Liyue for maliciously hurting her fellow disciples. Song Lang and Zhao Cheng from the law enforcement hall command Bai Luochen to hand over his disciple to them. He then asks Xiang Sheng what about the two guys from the beast taming department who sneak out into his realm to cause some trouble. Xiang Sheng told him that they had just accidentally slipped into the Azure Bird Peak and were already severely punished. What a big liar. After hearing that, Bai Luochen told them that his disciple then just accidentally injured them and told them all that there was no need to bother, for he could handle it himself. Boom. Burned. Xiang Sheng, on the other hand, insists that Su Liyue is guilty and should be punished. He even told the guys from the law enforcement hall that Bai Luochen is actually trying to cover up the crime of his disciple and he should be punished too. What an abominable bastard. Soon after, Song Lang and Zhao Cheng approach and try to intimidate Bai Luochen. However, as expected from him, he does not even feel bothered by their remarks. This triggered the guys from the law enforcement hall and they decided to attack them. He then told Su Liyue to take care of them and take it as a test of what she had learned so far. As they attack, she engages with them and gracefully dodges all their attacks as if she were dancing. The two continue to attack her, but they also wonder exactly what she is doing. Moments later, they finally realize that she is drawing runes while moving around them. This shocks Song Lang, as even an expert in runic magic would draw the runes before battling, but she does it on the spot. Well, take it from an immortal who had lived long years of years even before they were born. Zhao Cheng gets pissed off with her as he thinks she is looking down on them. Song Lang then suggested that they use their combined attack to interrupt her runic spell. This unison attack creates a huge green dragon force that strikes Su Liyue. However, she had already completed the runes and successfully managed to intercept that strong attack with the blue round force engulfed with lightning magic. The attack was so powerful and it created a massive explosion. Soon after the dust subsided, they saw Su Liyue standing in front of them and wielding two bluebirds charged with blue lightning magic. She then cast them to the two law enforcers and instantly defeated them. Meanwhile, Bai Luochen realizes that Su Liyue's attribute is lightning magic. To further help her cultivate her power, he thinks of returning to the Abyss to get something that can aid her in developing her ability. Salute to you, Mr. Bai. Never have I ever thought that you would go the extra mile just to help your disciple improve even better. In his defeated and helpless state, Song Lang calls the attention of Xiang Sheng to make a move, as he reveals that they only came there for him. This stunned Xiang Sheng, and he felt so irritated by Song Lang for calling him out amid the situation. He then said that if the two of them could not even defeat her, what were the odds for him to defeat her alone? Hoops, red alert, a big coward has been detected. Moments later, Su Liyue casts a rune on his body, and she apologizes for accidentally casting it on him. She told him she was actually aiming it at Song Lang, but accidentally missed it. Oh, Miss Su, that's an epic way to throw shade at him. Serves you right, Mr. Coward. Song Lang stands up and threatens Bai Luochen that his action is a serious provocation that he will surely regret. With his evil smirk, Bai Luochen told him that they should be the ones regretting their actions. Song Lang told him what is he going to do about it. This kind of trash-talking triggers Bai Luochen, and his facial expression changes into an empty, merciless one. His immense spiritual energy oozes out of his body and commands them to kneel with the use of his one finger. Out of nowhere, the whole area was engulfed with tremendous power, and the three guys felt what seemed like a gravitational force that dragged them down to the ground. Sir Isaac Newton is shaking. Bra has just defied the law of gravity. They all wonder how Bai Luochen can do that in his current status. Zhao Cheng asked him if he had already recovered his previous status. He then reminds them that they are in his realm, Azure Bird Peak. This means that the place is basically following his commands. Song Lang added that realm instructors like him could borrow spiritual energy from the whole Ling Fang. Meanwhile, Song Lang received his summon alert from Elder 2. However, his current state will not allow him to respond to it. As a result, Song Lang receives internal damage from his own elder. Realizing what is happening, Bai Luochen allows the two to go. As for Xiang Sheng, he will kneel down there and is only allowed to go anywhere if Elder Yu from Beast Taming Department comes for him. Mr. Bai is truly a badass. Later on, Song Lang and Zhao Cheng went straight to the Beast Taming Department. Here, they reported to Chang Kun, the vice instructor of the Beast Taming Department, about what happened to Xiang Sheng. Chang Kun then commands them to leave and let him personally handle the situation. I have a bad feeling about this man. Moments later, he asks Yin Hai to accompany him to go to Azure Bird Peak to get Xiang Sheng back. The next day, Bai Luochen is upset that not a single person from the Beast Taming Department came to talk to him. He then decides to visit Suli Yue and let her know that he has to go somewhere. Before leaving, he also gave her a seal that she could use if someone from the Beast Taming Department came. That must be teleportation or summoning jutsu. Bai Luochen instantly arrives at the Abyss to look for something to help his disciple cultivate her power. Here, he noticed a female student from the academy, so he hid his presence with his invisibility spell. Not long after, he realizes that the girl is actually chased down by two thugs. Well, as expected from this fantasy world, bad guys are everywhere to be found. She was actually overpowered and got cornered by the thugs. The thugs wanted to defile her body, and she felt very scared about the situation. But seriously, what the heck is with that shadow across her face? That is really sus. Her fear of getting defiled by a bad guy made her do a desperate situation to cast a spell on herself. This, however, was immediately stopped by the boss thug. Then, he starts harassing her. Poor little girl. While in a helpless situation, she contemplates her life with her sister and lets herself accept the fate that she's about to face. Out of nowhere, she heard Bai Luochen's voice telling her to hit his Danzhong point. He also transfers some of his energy to her. Realizing this, she musters all her remaining power, strength, and courage to hit his vulnerable point. This attack is so strong and effective that he stumbles backward, dealing with the most critical attack he has ever received in his life. Is it just me, or does that attack really resemble the signature move of the Hyuga clans? After receiving that deadly strike, his body starts to disintegrate. Right after that, the girl starts bowing her head everywhere and thanking the person who helped her. After knowing that his master is now dead, the apprentice of the big boss starts to boil with so much bloodlust. He then attacks her, intending to kill her. He also knows that she doesn't have any spiritual power left in her body, so he is confident that he can kill her. In that hopeless situation, she asked the one who helped her what to do. Bai Luochen did not disappoint her and told her exactly what to do. However, the apprentice was also quite strong, putting the girl in a deadly situation. Before the deadly attack lands on her, Bai Luochen cast a chain spell restricting him from hurting her any further. Well, what else to expect from the Uzumaki clan's chakra chains? After restricting him, Bai Luochen told the girl to kill him. The girl, however, did not kill him, for she wants to know from him the whereabouts of her sister. The thug, on the other hand, warns her that killing him would cause her so much trouble, and that the sect where he belongs will hunt her down. Getting pissed off by the situation, Bai Luochen appears before them. This shocks the two of them after recognizing who he is. He then asks the thug directly where is the girl she is looking for. The thug, however, refuses to tell him what he wants to hear. Without a second thought, he commanded him to die. Then the thug's body started swelling and he exploded like a squashed tomato. Ew, that's disgusting. Soon after, he asks the girl if she has anything that belongs to her sister. Bai Luochen also summons a yellow bird that looks like not in the mood and having a bad day. Brah, this angry bird with Pikachu's iconic blush on the cheeks made my day. She then gives him the handkerchief that her sister gave her. Immediately, Bai Luochen commands the angry bird to locate the owner of the handkerchief, which the bird effortlessly accomplishes. Bai Luochen and the girl went straight to the location right away. Here, they saw the girl's sister badly injured in what appeared like a deep underground cave. He cast a spell that seems like giant bluish sperm cells that go down to the girl's location. This bluish sperm-like magic transforms into floating bubbles. and ascends on the surface with the girl. The two sisters reunited, and Bai Luochen gave her the 5 elements pill to fully recover instantly. When night arrived, a strong presence with a gust of wind appeared in Azure Bird Peak. It was none other than Chen Kung and Yin Hai. Chen Kung declares that he arrived for Su Li Yue and her master Bai Luochen to receive their punishment. Bloody hell, it looks like a strong storm is about to come. A few hours before the night arrives, Bai Luochen interrogates the two sisters about why they loiter around a dangerous place like the Abyss. The older sister explains what truly happened, and he learns from them that they are actually chasing down the silkworm beast. She also reveals that the two thugs from the Formless Boundary sect who are chasing them in the Abyss are also after the silkworm. Bai Luochen realizes that it could be the best material for his disciple, who has a lightning attribute since the silkworm has both water and lightning attributes. Sounds like a plan, Mr. Bai. Back in the present time, Su Li Yue comes out of the door after hearing that someone is looking for her master. She tells them that if they have a message for him, they can tell her, and she will pass it on to him. Chen Kung then orders her to kneel. Su Li Yue immediately tells him she did nothing wrong, so why must she kneel? Chen Kung told her that disciples should kneel before their elders. He also pointed out that her trash master did not teach her the rules of the academy. Su Li Yue asks for apologies for not knowing the rules. She also reiterated that her master is not trash and that the elder should be more respectful with his words. This, however, infuriates Chen Kung, and he uses his power to force her to kneel down. Su Li Yue, on the other hand, uses her own power to suppress the force even if it causes her body to get severely damaged. She constantly refuses to kneel down, and Chen Kung continuously delivers a strong force to make her kneel down. Su Li Yue uses more of her power to subdue the force. Upon realizing the resolve of Su Li Yue, Chen Kung orders Yin Hai to kill her. Yin Hai, on the other hand, is not as bad as his master. However, he cannot go against the order of his master, so he approaches Su Li Yue and talks to her. Yin Hai is convincing her to kneel down and not let her pride kill her. Oh, it looks like not all members of the beast taming department are evil. Nonetheless, she will not change her mind. Thus, it leaves him no choice but to follow his master's order. Just when he is about to deliver his finishing blow, the black horse, Xiao Wu, tackles him with tremendous power, knocking Yin Hai out of consciousness. Xiao Wu is literally and figuratively the dark horse of this story. Witnessing its immense power, Chen Kung uses his power to tame Xiao Wu. He is basically stronger than the horse, so he managed to give severely critical damage. Poor Xiao Wu. Su Li Yue could no longer take his cruelty, so she fought back. She provokes him to go near her so she can cast her signature move, Moon Fairy Wheel. She successfully hit him with her attack. However, Chen Kung brought a treasure that could heal even the most severe wound of all time. Thus, he survives that fatal blow without even a single scar. What the heck? That's cheating. Full restoration at its finest. Casting that attack consumes all the spiritual energy of Su Li Yue, so she starts feeling so weak. After realizing how dangerous Su Li Yue is, he decided to end her life to no longer pose a threat to him. Another coward alert from the beast taming department. Xiao Wu wants to save her, but it can hardly even move a muscle. Su Li Yue remembers what Bai Luochen told her in that hopeless and life-threatening situation. So, she activated the seal that her master gave her. Then all of a sudden, a blue light of immense power blasts off from that seal. Su Li Yue managed to escape death after the explosion. After the seal was broken, a huge blue electric angry bird appeared, directly attacking Chen Kung. That bird is extremely powerful, and it destroyed Chen Kung's protective treasure. Not only that, it manages to drain Chen Kung's spiritual energy. I guess you should not mess with an angry bird. In his defeated state, Yin Hai, who is now conscious, comes to his rescue. Chen Kung immediately asked for his 5 elements pill and completely restored his health. He suddenly went berserk and attacked Su Li Yue. She thought it was her end, but out of nowhere, she saw her master in front of her. Moreover, Chen Kung's attack is even stopped by Bai Luochen's clone. Yes, you heard that right. It's just a clone. Well, that's one tough Bunshin no Jutsu. Meanwhile, his main body starts healing Su Li Yue. Then, his clone crushed the head of Chen Kung on the ground. Yin Hai asks Bai Luochen to stop his attack, so he puts him in a bell-like restriction spell to prevent him from interfering. The clone continues to beat the hell out of Chen Kung's body. Then, in his almost lifeless state, the clone throws him to Yin Hai. Chen Kung then asks for another 5 elements pill, and magically, it's a max recovery. On the other hand, the clone of Bai Luochen is now treating Xiao Wu's fatal wounds, while his main body continues to heal Su Li Yue. Oops, what the hell is with her reaction? Plus, Bai Luochen's hand is as if is grabbing her melons. And his fully restored health and spiritual energy, Chen Kun changes his outfit and summons a high-grade monster known as the Horned Eagle. Personally, I will not call it eagle because it's actually a griffin. The flying beast releases a tremendous amount of power and attacks Bai Luochen. Meanwhile, an ominous presence surges from Bai Luochen's pouch. It starts shining so bright, and it casts high-voltage blue electric waves toward the approaching beast. All of a sudden, the scary and intimidating Horned Eagle turns into a bald eagle. Well, it doesn't have a feather, and it looks so pathetically scared. After receiving the attack, the beast flees in so much fear. When the two sisters arrive, Bai Luochen asks them to take care of Su Li Yue for him. Then he faces Chen Kun with so much wrath. He casts a blood-rapturing spell on him. According to Chen Kun, this spell can dissolve people into a pool of blood, and even the soul will be dissolved. Whoa, is this Muzan's blood demon art or the Avatar's blood bending? Knowing how dangerous it is, he tries to escape Azure Bird Peak. However, he did not realize that Bai Luochen's clone would appear right before him and smash him down to the ground. Bai Luochen's blood spell consumed his body. Serves you right, Chen Kun. A short flashback is seen when Su Li Yue activated the seal. A mini version of the Blue Thunderbird appears to Bai Luochen and informs him that his disciple is in trouble. With Mach 20 speed like Koro-sensei, he flew instantly from the abyss, going to Azure Bird Peak. As expected, Chen Kun becomes a pool of blood and completely vanishes from time and space. Witnessing this, the two sisters felt disgusted. Well, it is truly disgusting to see such a sight. Yin Hai feels genuinely sad about the fate that befalls his master. Bai Luochen told him that his master brought upon himself and he should not be guilty about it. Yin Hai then reveals that he is not really fond of unnecessary punishment or killings. He just couldn't do anything against his master's order. Bai Luochen doesn't have any bad intentions for him. He actually lets him go and take his brother, Shang, with him. Also, he asked him not to tell anyone about what happened in Azure Bird Peak that night. Bai Luochen approached Su Li Yue and Xiao Wu after the encounter. Not too far from them, the two sisters see the situation between them and decide to leave them alone to have their privacy. They bid goodbye to Bai Luochen and his disciple. Then they told them they would visit him more often. Jealous alert? Bai Luochen felt the menacing presence from the sky. This made him realize that someone is watching over him from above. Then, it was revealed that the presence felt by Bai Luochen was actually the Supreme Elder who was staying in this seclusion cave for quite some time. Here, he orders Elder Tu Wang Sheng of the Law Enforcement Hall to do something about Bai Luochen's disciple. Oh, it feels like Su Li Yue is about to face another problem. Back in Azure Bird Peak, Bai Luochen gave the silkworm to Su Li Yue. It's a white giant larva-looking creature. It is also the same creature that electrocuted the Horned Eagle beast. Bai Luochen caught it because it was the best material for her disciples' power cultivation as they have the same attributes. Bai Luochen shrinks the beast into a more manageable size. He also helps the silkworm to form a cocoon and instantly transform into a female humanoid form. She looks like a pretty ditzy girl with 4 arms. Oops, Ben 10 is shaking. She greets everyone, especially her master, Su Li Yue. Then she introduces herself as Xiao Meng. Apparently, Su Li Yue likes her better this way than her previous giant worm appearance. I'm not fond of giant insects, so I'll also feel the same if I were her. While everyone seems happy, something is bothering Bai Luochen. This is about Xiao Meng's jade that she is guarding. He cannot analyze it, so he concludes that the unknown mystery that the jade contains is the real goal of the Formless Boundary sect when they went to catch it back in the abyss. On the other hand, the system notifies Bai Luochen that a random task suddenly appeared. It comes along with the reward he can get if his disciple rises to the top, and punishment if they will refuse or fail to do the task. Wow, this is definitely a do-or-die task. This actually shocks Bai Luochen as the system never gave him any task before. It only serves as a counter for his chopped firewood. Not only that, it seems that the system has emotions and can get upset when they say something about it. It actually got mad at Bai Luochen and forced him to accept the task right away. He, however, is not interested in the rewards, so he plans to give them to his disciple instead. When Bai Luochen sleeps, the system shows a mysterious girl in what looks like a sealed sphere. She wants to touch him, but when she does, she breaks into fragments. This is definitely a mystery to look forward to. 5 days later, the disciples from the sword arts department smell the iconic roasted meat of no other than Salt Bai. Just kidding. Of course, it is Bai Luochen's superb cooking that they smell. Wait a minute. I wonder what kind of weird creature he's cooking now. Apparently, a weird-looking creature appeared in the Azure Bird Peak earlier that day. It talks about the Savior and the words of God. However, the way it speaks is not really comprehensible to humans. Judging from its appearance and description of it, this is an angel as depicted in the Bible. Bai Luochen, being himself, thinks it's just a weird-looking bird. He then kills it and roasts its meat. What the fudge? He basically killed and ate an angel. Meanwhile, Jiang Himing is lashing out to his disciples to focus on the goal and not on some food that smells pretty good. Jiang Himing also confronts Luo Chen about his credibility as an instructor. All of the other departments in the academy arrived to participate in the task. A narcissistic man named Feng Shu from the extermination department tries to call the attention of Su Li Yue. He, however, is immediately ignored by her. This hurts his pride, and his anger shows hastily. He is then reminded by his head instructor, Yu Wangshang, that jealousy is something that only weak people feel. All heads turn when the Four Arts Department arrives. Mu Xuanzhu, the realm instructor, and the two sisters from earlier get the attention of all the participants. Yu Wangshang tries talking to Mu Xuanzhu, but is completely ignored, just like Feng Shu. And just like Su Li Yue, she went straight directly to Luo Chen. This infuriates Yu Wangshang, but Feng Shu reminds him that jealousy is something that only weak people feel. Haha, that's epic. Ra, you better practice what you preach. Mu Xuanzhu thanks Bai Luo Chen for saving her disciples. The attention that Elder Moon gives to Elder Bai drives Su Li Yue to feel jealous. Why is this story suddenly filled with jealous people? The task elder silences them all and gets all their attention. He explains the rules to the participants and how the pointing system works. Moreover, he discusses the possible grounds for disqualification. Then he announces the official start of the trial. Time to get serious now. All of the disciples entered their respective realms. Elder Moon asks Elder Bai if he is not worried about his only disciple. With confidence, Bai Luochen tells her that she is stronger than most of the participants, and she can surely make it, for she is his disciple. I love the confidence level, sir. Inside the demon's secret realm, the participants are already on their way to face and battle each other. As participants win battles, they collect some sort of a relic from the defeated participants that will contribute to their ranking. Su Li Yue defeated her latest opponent, putting her on rank 47th. Despite this, Xiao Meng continues stomping her tiny legs in her moth form on Su Li Yue's head. This irritates her, so she grabs Xiao Meng by her head, causing her neck to get strangled, and she transforms into her tiny humanoid form. Su Li Yue asked her if there were participants present around certain areas. However, Xiao Meng did not respond to her because she was still sulking about getting her neck choked. At this part of the story, I suddenly realized that Xiao Meng quite resembles Mina Ishido of My Hero Academia. Meanwhile, two suspicious characters appeared at a not-so-far distance and seemed to be tailing Su Li Yue. A red frog has sent them the signal that Su Li Yue has been found. Stalker alert. Some participants who have been eliminated are watching their fellow participants on a live magical screen as they fight to the top. A small crowd has been expressing amazement and fear towards Su Li Yue. Moments later, Elder Moon talks to Elder Bai about his disciples' flamboyance. He then told her that only the weak would care about the opinions of others and blindly restrain themselves. Sound like very Bai Luo Chen, who doesn't give snot on everything that they tell him. He further explains that whether the strong flaunt or not, they only do it according to their likes and dislikes. Couldn't agree more, Uncle Bai. While the two continue their conversation, the magical screen seems to break. This problem quickly escalates, as they can no longer track the safety of the participants inside the realm. On the main control system of the magical live screens, one official stated that there is a detected powerful counterbalance of spiritual energy inside the trial venue. Fixing the screens is beyond impossible, and they have to declare a state of emergency to ensure the safety of the remaining participants. Whoa, bravery at its finest. Before the news was even disseminated, Elder Bai had already sent his badass clone to the realm. The state of emergency has been informed to everyone, and some participants refuse to give up. One of them is Su Li Yue. Well, as expected from her. Meanwhile, the two suspicious characters are now confronting Su Li Yue. It turns out that they are He Shiling and Luo Xiao, high-ranking people from the law enforcement hall. These people can't seem to move on. The fierce battle continues, and the two opponents attack Su Li Yue, intending to kill her. She knows for herself that she will not win against the two, so she asks for help from Xiao Meng, who is still grumping about Su Liyue when not following her orders. He Xiling uses her ultimate skill, Shilling, while Lu Xiao uses his ultimate skill, Sacrificial Sword. The sword skill, though, quite resembles the battle forms of the parasites from the anime Kai Seiju. Out of nowhere, ice magic appeared, freezing He Xiling's whole body and shattering Lu Xiao's sword. It is then revealed that the ice magic came from Xiao Meng, who is now in her Demon King form. Oh my, she's so thick. Okay kids, better close your eyes. She also warns them to better run away because they are no match for her. And just like that, the cowards flee from the battle. Afterward, Xiao Meng returned to her moth form. Then the two of them agreed to go to a specific location. A few days before the exam, Xiao Meng helps her to cultivate her power. However, what exactly kind of cultivation is this? It's so sus. Kids, stay away for a while. Somewhere in the Demon Race forest, Lu Xiao tries to defrost He Xiling with the use of a flaming fish-like spirit. What the fudge? A flaming fish is an odd combination. He suddenly feels a strong bloodlust around him. Then he saw Bai Luochen's shadow clone approaching them with a flaming hand. Just as you thought, he killed them both with a single spell that turned them into a pool of blood. Also, after using the skills, two spirit-like creatures appear to collect the souls of the two. Well, at least death did not part them from each other. The shadow clone also enchanted a spell that has an effect on the mastermind of the mischievous attack. Then, the Supreme Elder in the seclusion cave is shown vomiting blood. The clone also stated this was his last warning to the enemies. After experiencing that excruciating pain, Supreme Elder wonders how much power Bai Luochen has already recovered. Go, Mr. Bai. Give these people the taste of pain. Meanwhile, Xiao Meng and Su Liyue are again arguing after they reach the Demon Ruin Cave and not seeing the treasures. Xiao Meng begins to complain about being tired of flying. If you are tired of flying, then walk. You have a pair of legs too. The complaint continues until Su Liyue can no longer hold it, and she lashes out at her. The situation got intense, and both of them released their powers. Without a second thought, Xiao Meng casts an ice spell on her. This attack missed her, and Su Liyue realized that she had actually saved her from the bugs attacking from behind. She even informed her how dangerous those poison maggots are when they come together. Su Liyue thinks that if there are several monsters in the area, chances are there is a treasure around. She then destroys the tube-like structures in the cave with the use of her lightning magic. Instead of treasure, they saw a sealed giant door. Xiao Meng was so happy to see this that she drew her ice sword and hit the door. She then uses her signature move, Cold Sky Slash. However, when the magic particles subside, there is not even a scratch. This enrages her, and she combines all of her powers in one single strike. Still, not a single scratch appears. Out of frustration, she broke her own ice sword. Meanwhile, Su Liyue saw a strange marking that resembled a crescent moon, and when she decided to touch it, it activated her power and successfully managed to open the door. Xiao Meng, however, thought that she was the one who opened it as she pushed the door at the same time as Su Liyue unlocked the seal. I have a strong feeling that it is surely related to her. Inside it lies a big tomb-like structure. They both entered it, but for some unexplainable reasons, Su Liyue feels strange about it, for it feels so familiar to her. Xiao Meng saw a cute little creature and had a sudden urge of wanting to eat it. Su Liyue then saw what she was about to do and remembered everything. However, before she could stop her from killing the creature, she had already sliced its head and broken it in the process. What an impulsive demon king. Then, the giant tomb breaks. It turns out it was a demon emperor seal. And now all of them are in danger as the place turns into chaos. The headmaster then panics and starts to tremble in fear of the fate that will befall them. Chill, grandpops. Keep calm and think of a solution instead. To save everyone from that realm, the headmaster sends all the simple teleportation array creatures. These teleportation creatures just arrived in time to save the remaining participant survivors. Their respective realm elders also come to their rescue. Bai Luochen then asks Yuan Shi and Yuan Ruo if they see his disciple. Unfortunately, no one knows her whereabouts, realizing that all of the realm elders were teleported right beside their disciples. Elder Moon thought that Su Liyue might be in trouble. Well, women's instincts work best in these kinds of situations. Demon Emperor Dong Shu declares his return and casts a strong magic attack from all over the place, affecting the whole realm. Fortunately, Xiao Meng manages to save Su Liyue with her ice barrier, noticing a human around. Dong Shu uses his one finger to cast a powerful spell to kill Su Li Yue. This was again successfully blocked by Xiao Meng. However, it uses almost all of her spiritual energy. He then confronted her as she was defying him by protecting a human. She then lies that a demon raised Su Li Yue, and she asked for mercy to spare her life. Xiao Meng then uses her power to create a tiny clone that drags Su Li Yue outside that place and puts an act of slapping her away. Knowing that Su Li Yue will be safe if she gets out of that place, she provokes the Demon Emperor to attack her and act as bait and diversion for Su Li Yue to get out safely. This is a moment to remember for Xiao Meng. What a selfless servant. A flashback is shown when Bai Luochen puts a prohibition spell on her. He reminded her to only use it when necessary, as it is so powerful. Xiao Meng cast it when the Demon Emperor gave her a deadly attack. Basically, the prohibition spell got broken and she still received all the damages. That's very sad. Meanwhile, those who perished from the Demon Emperor's attack turned into zombie-like creatures attacking their fellow. The headmaster faces them and he casts his most powerful sword skill, Viridescent 10-blade curtain, to kill and stop them all at once. Soon after, Jiang Himing approaches him to ask Bai Luochen to step out of the realm. Bai Luochen heard this and he confronted him about it. Jiang Himing then explains that he will just be a burden due to his current status. Mu Xuanzhu then suggests to the headmaster the other way around. In the end, Bai Luochen is allowed to stay. You're the best, Elder Moon. They entered the realm instantly, and Jiang Himing accompanied Bai Luochen. A huge blast happens inside the realm, turning the Demon Emperor into a golden liquid. He, however, quickly regenerates from the attack as if nothing happened. It is then revealed that it was Bai Luochen's shadow clone who is attacking the Demon Emperor. The shadow clone continues to deliver strong attacks to annihilate the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor, on the other hand, also casts a powerful spell that can par with the shadow clone's attack. Wow, clash of chaotic powers. Meanwhile, the corpse of Xiao Meng turned into a solid state. Then, a tiny cocoon comes out of the corpse. Not long after, Xiao Meng emerges from that cocoon. Wow, immortality strategy. The tiny clone that she created a while ago approaches her to tell her about the situation of Su Li Yue. She rushed to go to her location, but it was too late. A flower has already grown from her eyes. This means she will become a zombie-like creature anytime soon. Xiao Meng thought that this was the best opportunity to escape the control of Bai Luochen over her, but she can't do it as she's already fond of Su Li Yue and cannot afford to lose her. Oh, so touching. She then flies quickly to look for Bai Luochen and saves Su Li Yue from dying. The Shadow Clone and the Demon Emperor continue to exchange powerful attacks. When the Demon Emperor flies, strong lightning magic strikes him. This triggered the Demon Emperor to transform into his humanoid form. This makes him wonder who the Shadow Clone is, for the strength and power of his caliber should not exist in this world. Oops, looks like the Demon Emperor's tail is shaking at its finest. The Demon Emperor asks him, but the Shadow Clone refuses to reveal anything about himself. This angers the Demon Emperor, and he tries to incinerate him using his pink flames. Cute pink flames. From a distance, Jiang Himing and Bai Luochen are watching the shadow as it fights the Demon Emperor. Little did Elder Jiang know that the Shadow Clone belonged to the man beside him. Elder Jiang suggested that they will retreat. However, Bai Luochen uses a talisman on him that puts him in a deep sleep. As the battle continues, the two entities are near to reaching their limit. Suddenly, a huge golden magic circle appeared from the sky, and another angel-like creature appeared from that area. The creature and the Demon Emperor fused with each other and cast a strong and powerful attack toward the Shadow Clone. Bai Luochen uses his power called Order to stop the combined attack. Basically, it looks like a giant green blade that launched from heaven to vanquish the sworn enemy of the caster. This resulted in the fusion break and returning the Demon Emperor to his original form. That's really quick, just like the reverse card effect of the Uno card game. This makes the Demon Emperor wonder if another strong opponent appeared before him. Then Bai Luochen appeared and slowly fused with his Shadow Clone. He also cast an Immortal Binding Talisman. It looks like a magical yellow paper with arrow tentacles, which are definitely for binding. Additionally, he puts another spell along with the talisman paper that can burn the soul of the Demon Emperor. The immense magical power was immediately recognized by Xiao Meng, and she went straight to that location to ask for help with Su Li Yue's condition. Xiao Meng explains what happened and who did it to Su Li Yue. The Demon Emperor then told Bai Luochen that he could not kill him, because the Lord Earth Demon would go after him. All of a sudden, the gates of the underworld appear. It looks like a huge scary portal with chained doors. The portal drags the demon emperor inside it, and the doors close, and it descends back to the underground. By Mr. Arrogant. After witnessing how he handled the demon emperor, Xiao Meng's fear of him grew even more. Then all of a sudden, Su Li Yue transforms into a zombie-like creature and bites Bai Luochen's neck. Surprisingly, he did not stop her from biting him. After sipping some of his blood, Su Li Yue miraculously turns back to normal. She comes back to her senses and immediately apologizes for all the trouble she might have caused. Meanwhile, the bite also infected Bai Luochen. He immediately treats this by going to the system and activating an antivirus. Seriously speaking, are you a computer software, Uncle Bai? The demon emperor thinks of him as a foolish person to sacrifice himself for the sake of his disciple. Little did he know that Bai Luochen had already activated a system that would completely annihilate him. Well deserved. That night at Azured Bird Peak, Su Li Yue contemplated what happened and started questioning herself if she had become a burden for Bai Luochen and Xiao Meng. Xiao Meng arrives and changes her mood. While still feeling bad about what happened, Xiao Meng apologizes and promises to protect her from any further danger, no matter what it takes. How sweet of you, Xiao Meng. The next day, the three of them proceeded to do their daily routine. However, Su Li Yue begins to sneeze from time to time. Xiao Meng tells them it might be due to the slap she gave her when they faced the demon emperor. Bai Luochen told them not to worry, because he would bring them to the 4 arts department to bathe in a therapeutic hot spring. How I wish that everything could easily be healed by hot springs, even in real life. The following day, they all arrived at the 4 art department hot spring. Inside the spring inn, some girls are kind of getting naughty, wanting to see the melons of desire. On the other hand, Xiao Meng is insisting Su Li Yue give her share of the magical treasures she received. Annoyed, Su Li Yue threw her into the laundry basket along with her clothes. How cute! Angry Xiao Meng looks like a tiny ghost under Su Li Yue's garment. They all bathe themselves in the relaxing hot spring. Meanwhile, Xiao Meng is doing some butterfly strokes in the hot spring water. Oops, should we call it moth strokes? Su Li Yue, on the other hand, begins to feel better as all the coldness in her body starts to disappear. Then Yun Ruo starts getting naughty again toward her sister, Yun Shi. Why do I have this feeling that they share some sort of sister-complex relationship? Meanwhile, some small spring demons called starlings are enjoying the scene. The two sisters explain to Su Li Yue that these tiny demons are why their hot spring is miraculously healing those who bathe in it. Little did they know that these starlings were having naughty thoughts and conversations about them. Who would have thought these demons managed to outsmart these beautiful, strong women? Moments later, the associate instructor of the 4 arts department, Liu Kuier, enters the spring. She has a strong and intimidating personality, calling Su Li Yue a country bumpkin, despite winning first place in the recent trial. She soaks her feet in the hot spring and shows them the true purpose of the starling demons. Seriously, for tickling. If they only know the thoughts running through the mind of these demons. After intimidating everyone, the 3 girls decided to move out of the spring and leave her alone. The 2 sisters also added that she's acting like that because she cannot compete with her master at all. An envious brat has been exposed. Liu Kuier then revealed to them that their respected master had just entered Bai Luochen's chamber. This bothers her so much. Meanwhile, Elder Bai and Elder Moon are having a very sus conversation, but only to find out that they are just talking about having a barbecue inside the chambers. He also added that it's actually not appropriate for a single woman and a single man to be in a room together. Elder Moon then recalled her past memories with the young and naughty Bai Luochen. She is so sus, and I feel like she wants something else from him. He then asks her about her true intention. That being said, she said that she wanted him to take her disciples to the secret realm of Fanghu Mountain to get some training. She also suggests that he can bring Su Li Yue with him to gain more resources for her cultivation. Bai Luochen then agrees with it. Just right before Elder Moon could do more to him, their disciples appeared and saw them so close to each other. Su Li Yue grabbed her master and told him that it was time to go back to Azured Bird Peak. Moments later, Bai Luochen taught Su Li Yue a new skill. He then praises his disciple for her fast learning. Moreover, he told her to remove all the distracting thoughts in her head to not lose her mind control. However, she completely loses her mind control and asks her master to make a baby. Oops, censored alert. Su Li Yue continues her advances toward him and she starts seducing him even more. Just right before things could go even further, he uses a spell to bring her mind back to normal. Upon receiving the spell, she looks like she reaches an orga-censored kind of thing. Not to mention, the way she fell on his body looked like they finished rolling in the deep. The next day, the disciples were instructed on what they needed to do in the Fang Hu Mountain's secret realm. While Su Li Yue is listening to him, she cannot stop thinking about what she did last night. Every time she remembers it, she feels and acts awkwardly. This makes Bai Luochen worry about her mental state. Moments later, one of the disciples reports that someone is attacking them. The attacker is actually familiar with Yun Ruo. She is Kong Ming Shu, the elder of the Blissful Palace. Yun Ruo and Kong Ming Shu start engaging in a heated argument. Then, the short-tempered Kong Ming Shu attacks her with her flute. Yun Ruo tries to block it, but it's too strong for her. Just a few inches before it could hurt her, Bai Luochen controlled the flute with his magic. Then, she tries to take back her control over the flute, but he tells her that the flute belongs to him now. Isn't that considered stealing? Well, she's a bad guy, so she deserves it. He masterfully plays music using the flute that amuses everyone in the area. This, however, outrages Kong Ming Shu, and she uses her disgusting magic, Blissful Demon Eel, to attack him. The magic of the flute activates, and she is blasted away from the impact with her clothes completely torn apart. One of her disciples catches her by grabbing her 2 melons. Judging from his facial expression, he surely likes it. Perv alert. After their master got defeated, they all fled together away from that area. Bai Luochen then told Yun Ruo that he would give the flute to her and help her upgrade it as an imperial weapon. This makes her eyes shimmer like the stars. After hearing this, other disciples surrounded him and wanted to receive something from him as well. Meanwhile, Xiao Meng tries to interrogate them about what happened to them last night. However, she immediately stops her from being nosy. Soon after, the disciples enter the realm, and Bai Luochen still wonders why Su Li Yue is acting strange, even after using the Clear Heart Talisman on her. This talisman blurs the memory of a normal person. Well, she's not a normal person, to begin with. Somewhere outside the realm, a snake dragon is looking at the portal. Turns out that a disciple from the Blissful Palace is sharing a vision with the snake. She then reported it to Kong Ming Shu, who just had beaten her disciple who maliciously caught her earlier. His face, though, is still smiling after getting beaten by her. What a perv. Their whole troop then enters the realm and declares their blissful rebirth. Should we call it blissful defeat? Meanwhile, Bai Luochen receives a new task about suppressing the soul ancestor. Inside the Fang Hu Mountain's secret realm, ambushers from the Blissful Palace begin attacking the disciples from the Four Arts Department. Yun Ruo faces the pink-haired lady of the Blissful Palace. Her attitude and appearance give me the vibe of Serrano of Fairy Tale. They had a fierce battle with each other. Pink-haired lady unleashes her tentacles. Yun Ruo uses her newly acquired flute relic to play the magical attack Sword and Song Presto. However, her lack of experience is manifested as the magical force she activates seems too weak, unlike when Bai Luochen uses it. In no time, her body was already wrapped by the slimy tentacles. Yun Ruo is now helplessly trapped, and her body is plagued by both the tentacles and the pink-haired lady. Brah, what the heck is this? The pink-haired girl is squeezing her melons, and the slimy tentacles look like a tongue that is licking her undies. Rated R alert. After this, one of the tentacles is preparing to enter her tight human cave, and the pink-haired girl slaps her peaches. Then, she revealed her paraphernalia that, swear to heaven, looks like female adult toys. Meanwhile, a flying piranha is moving like a bullet toward the enemy. The piranha pierces through her heart and kills her. But this, Bai Luochen, realizes that the Blissful Palace set an ambush against them. Yun Ruo exhausts all of her spiritual energy against her last opponent, and she can barely move her legs. Then they decided to move together to look for the other ambushers. Along the way, they saw some soul wasps. These are used by the Blissful Palace to gather the souls of the dead. This bothers Bai Luochen, and he tells Yun Ruo that they have to see the other disciples as soon as possible, while he squishes the soul wasp to its death. Looks like serious trouble. Moments later, a strong lightning magic is cast by Su Li Yue. The attack is so powerful that it scares all the demons around, including Xiao Meng. Not to mention, she even hurt herself after casting it. Xiao Meng then confronts her about this, and she learns from her that she wants to be as strong as Bai Luochen as soon as possible. This was even questioned by Xiao Meng. However, the moment is interrupted by Kong Ming Shu, who intimidates them. Xiao Meng, on the other hand, did not falter. In fact, she intimidated her even further. Well, that's Xiao Meng for you. Kong Ming Shu then unleashes her true power. She summons a huge traditional drumstick. Xiao Meng immediately recognizes the demonic presence. Then, with one strike from it, Xiao Meng was completely defeated. Whoa! Our Xiao Meng, who withstood Demon Emperor's attack, got beaten by one hit. Like, seriously. She then immediately told her to call for Bai Luochen's help. Su Li Yue is shocked by the strong demonic presence right before her. Turns out that the immense demonic presence comes from the demon master Chang Xiaoliu, who is known as the Little Six Venerable. She is a little girl that resembles a bunny, and she prefers to be called Elder Six. I know she's an enemy, but she's so cute. How can I hate this little kid? Su Li Yue wakes up in a dark cave, and she's hanging on the ceiling with Xiao Meng's silk binding. She then saw some individuals performing a ritual to revive a demon's soul. Elder Sixth also sits and watches while savoring her leafy grass snacks. Holy crap, another vegetarian demon is in the house. Kong Ming Shu initiated the ritual by sacrificing the souls of the Four Arts disciples they had captured earlier. Su Li Yue tries to escape from the silk binding to stop the ritual, but Xiao Meng tells her that her silk is too powerful to be broken, so she better not waste her time. After knowing this, Su Li Yue confronts her for betraying her and their master. She even told her that she was now following Elder Six. However, Su Li Yue noticed and pointed out that she bound herself up too. Xiao Meng, being herself, is simply the funniest. Xiao Meng cut the show and told her to work with her and delay the time. Meanwhile, Elder Six starts to feel irritated by the noise that they are creating. She then warns them to keep quiet or she will hammer both of them to death. Oh no, the bunny got pissed off. On the other hand, the soul ancestor they are trying to revive needs more soul offerings. Yang Cheng and Zi Ling of the soul refining sect start mocking Kong Ming Shu about the number of souls they can offer to the soul ancestor. Kong Ming Shu immediately calmed them and told them that some souls could still be offered. Well, that's what you get when you choose the wrong side. Just when they are about to touch the Four Arts disciples, Xiao Meng uses her lightning magic to stop them. Kong Ming Shu then realizes that it was Xiao Meng's doing. Immediately, Kong Ming Shu asks for Elder Six's help. However, it was revealed that Elder Six did not really help her because they were allies. In fact, she actually helped her in exchange for something in return, a cassie twig in particular. Then, Elder Six told her to offer another cassie twig for her to help. This situation delays the ritual, and Yang Cheng suggests to her that they all have souls, and there is no need to be stressed about it. They then all offered their souls to the soul ancestor, except for Kong Ming Shu, who uses her cassie twig to protect her from the soul sacrificing spell. That's truly a desperate move. Well, for them, it must be a do-or-die situation. Meanwhile, the resurrection is finally complete. Then a strong force was released as the soul ancestor emerged from the ground, calling the name Yun Huang. Upon seeing this, Xiao Meng casts a barrier spell to protect Su Li Yue. Meanwhile, Su Li Yue realizes that the one who got resurrected is the demon that caused disasters for hundreds of years. Soul Ancestor feels the presence of a superior soul in the area. Then he commands Kong Ming Shu to come with him. Her soul starts coming out of her body, and she calls for Elder Six's name in her helpless situation. Elder Six freed her from the spell. This opportunity was not wasted by Kong Ming Shu as she immediately activated the secret talisman, Blissful Heaven. It's a spell that creates a portal. Well, that's a smart move for someone who is on the verge of death. Meanwhile, Elder Six saw that Xiao Meng and Su Li Yue were trying to escape. She stops this and takes Su Li Yue with her. Then they jumped into the portal, leaving Xiao Meng and the bad guys. The Soul Ancestor then says that Yun Huang has changed over thousands of years. He even mentions the audacity of a mere demon master to snatch someone in front of him. He learns the truth about what happened to the Soul Sect thousands of years. As they say, the truth hurts. The Soul Ancestor then lashes out his anger at the Four Arts disciples. Luckily, Xiao Meng was there to block the attack. Soon after, Bai Luochen's axe fell from above. He then appears and declares the arrival of the main character. That's Uncle Bai for you. Yang Cheng and Zi Ling wonder who is the man who just arrived. Bai Luochen calls the Soul Ancestor an old man. This angers the Soul Ancestor, and he quickly attacks Bai Luochen. So what do you expect people to call you then, Gramps? He casts shadow-like tentacles toward Elder Bai. To stop this attack, Bai Luochen uses the 5-star talisman, which is a flaming golden dragon. This shocks the Soul Ancestor and asks him to tell his name. This was responded by Bai Luochen as, "I am your father." What the fudge? That's so epic. Pissed off by the response, he activated his ultimate magic, turning him into a soul swamp. Here, Bai Luochen's paper talisman doesn't work at all. That being said, he uses a divine talisman, Huan Wu. However, even after using a divine talisman, his power still did not work in his space. Soul Ancestor then continues to hit him. Annoyed by the Ancestor's soul, he asks the system to explain his spatial domain. Bai Luochen changes his mood and cuts the black liquid into pieces. When the Soul Ancestor asks him how he did it, he just simply answers that it's an axe that he uses to cut firewood. Bai Luochen also added that in the past, he only took the axe to save the faces of the heavens. I think that's something worth thinking about critically. There must be something more to his axe than meets the eye. And just like that, the Soul Ancestor got flamboyantly defeated. Outside the Soul Swamp, the outer shell covering cracks appeared. Zheling threatens Xiao Meng that once their Soul Ancestor comes out, she will be dead. A bright light comes, and Xiao Meng wonders if it is her master. Behold, Bai Luochen emerges from the cracks holding the head of the Soul Ancestor. Ew, that head though, looks like it has been pulled out from the body, as the spinal cord is still there. Yun Ruo sees him when the light subsides. On the other hand, Yang Cheng is in great disbelief at how Bai Luochen survives from that spatial dimension and wonders where the Soul Ancestor is. Bai Luochen got irritated and threw the head at him. As it touches him, he explodes into a pool of blood. This makes Zheling feel desperate to survive, so she begs for her life to be spared. Bai Luochen then told the disciples to take her to the academy to be interrogated. Not long after, Bai Luochen begins looking for Su Li Yue. After hearing this, Xiao Meng tries to run, but she is quickly stopped by him. She then admits everything that happened. On the other hand, Dao Dao, the blind girl from the Four Arts department, revealed what she knew of Su Li Yue's whereabouts. Then it was revealed that Su Li Yue is currently in the Blissful Palace. Well, she can definitely see something we cannot. Meanwhile, Su Li Yue wakes up in the Blissful Residence and sees chains with talisman paper bindings restraining an unknown being, who she knew long ago. Looks like we have a mini reunion here. A long time ago, on a peaceful day in the Li Li Palace, Kaixue Su Li Yue, in her previous life, was talking to a beautiful lady named Man Man about their descent into the immortal world. This, however, was immediately stopped by Man Man. Not long after, past Su Li Yue reveals that she receives an epiphany about their cultivation. It was actually wrong all along. She's acting so weird, like she's been possessed by evil thoughts. She's convincing Man Man that the immortal realm is something interesting. She then cuts her own navel and pulled out the 3 corpses, which according to her, were the reasons why they could not reach immortality. That's weird. She destroyed one of them. Like, what the heck? It feels like she's squishing egg yolk. Quite disgusting. Man Man is worried that Kai Shu might have been experiencing cultivation deviation. Thus, she uses her mystic technique, Life, to heal Kai Shu's self-inflicted wound. Annoyed by what she did, Kai Shu pierced her heart with her tiny dagger. Meanwhile, she manages to destroy the second one. After destroying the second one, she thought that she would reach immortality. Meanwhile, Man Man uses her mystic technique, Suppress, to help her to go back to her senses. However, it did not work out the way she expected it. Out of nowhere, she remembers that she only destroyed 2 corpses, and the third one is not yet destroyed. She then remembers that the third one was under the possession of Man Man. Meanwhile, in an unknown domain, Man Man heals herself from the damages she acquired. Green slug-looking slimes surround her wounds. Lady Tsunade, is that you? Man Man hopes that as long as she has her corpse of origin, she can turn back to normal someday. On one sunny day, an eclipse occurred. However, this is not really an eclipse, but rather Kai Xu's moon blade. She then uses her power to do a total eclipse. This reveals Man Man's location. Man Man hid inside a giant clam, but a water dragon appeared and moved her closer to the moon. Kai Xiu sliced the giant clam using her moon fairy wheel. Man Man quickly escapes the fight. Kai Xiu uses her spell, Shooting Star. These falling stars are hunting Man Man even to the depth of the sea. She then hid Kai Xiu's last corpse inside her body and used her mystic technique. Open. Whoa. I swear this resembles the Hyuga clan's 8 trigrams. Man Man realizes how dangerous the situation is, so she uses her ultimate mystic technique, reversing heavens, to attack Kai Xiu. On the other hand, Kai Xiu used her ultimate skill, Moon Fairy Wheel, to see which of her power was stronger. The impact was so strong, then the two of them face each other in a completely different domain. Here they don't wear anything. Censored alert, kid. Close your eyes. Man revealed to her that she had won that time. She then asks why Man doesn't want to become immortal with her, considering they are best friends. Man tells her that it's because they are best friends that she doesn't want to see her like that. Also, she told her that she would bring her back to normal, even if just part of her. Moments later, Kaichi returned back to her senses and cried. The domain disappeared, and the two returned to the real world, with Man dead. Then she cried so hard, putting the blame on herself for the death of her friend. Poor girl, but sometime you have to learn the hard way. Back in the blissful residence, Su Li Yue is crying after remembering everything that happened in her past life. A stranger then asked her if she remembered everything. She could not accept that fact and shouted at the one who asked her, only to find out she is talking to the same being she saw the chain and talisman binding. In fact, she is talking to a corpse, immortal, who happens to be Man. Wow, what a beautiful zombie. Meanwhile, she smiled at her and reminded her not to walk on the wrong path again. Oh, what a heart-melting reunion. Meanwhile, an explosion was felt from all over the place. Man then asked Elder Six to check who's causing havoc outside. Another explosion occurs outside the blissful palace hall. Bai Luochen tells them all to return his disciple. Soon, the leader of the blissful palace, Si Zhu, faces him. She tries to break Bai Luochen's soul by telling him that she's become the food for the demon lord. Little did she know Bai Luochen's mindset and emotions were off the chart and could not be predicted. All of a sudden, he activated a wider blood-rapturing spell and immediately turned them all into a pool of blood. When she is about to get killed, she offers her Cassie Twig and summons the demon master, Elder Six. Bai Luochen recognizes her power and asks her if she is the demon master they are talking about. As feisty as she is, Elder Six told him that she does not need to answer his question and mind his own business. Her bitchy attitude also triggers Bai Luochen to fight. They are now both fired up to battle each other. Bai Luochen then reveals that he only wants to get his disciple back. After realizing that Su Li Yue is the one he is looking for, Elder Six becomes even more determined not to tell him her whereabouts. Short-tempered Bai Luochen then grabbed her by the ears and used his skill of beating drum Golden Emperor's heavenly might. That skill looks like a shaman king's skill. It just merely looks like a spanking by a father and his child. The way she moans, though, whenever she receives a spanking is so sus. While the spanking stopped, they did not stop arguing. This was seen by Si Zhuo as a perfect opportunity to attack the two strong beings with her ultimate skill. Blood and Flesh Ascension Formation. Then two giant hands appeared before them, trapping them both in her grip. What the hell is that? Such an ugly-looking spell. While Elder Six and Elder Bai are both held captive by the red giant fat devil, Si Zhuo is laughing like she's the queen of the world. This enrages Elder Six, and she declares to cut her into pieces. Si Zhuo then told her to not be mad, for they would soon be intertwined with flesh and blood. The red devil opens its mouth and attempts to swallow the two. Elder Bai then asks the devil how she can eat a beautiful rabbit like her. However, he also warns the red devil that eating the rabbit along with him will not be easy peasy. Elder Bai casts an explosive spell that destroys the gripping hands around them and the widely open mouth swallowing them. After the explosion, the two fell into the blade-like structures below. Elder Six was caught off guard and could no longer prepare for a safe landing. Luckily, Elder Bai is there to save the day. He grabs her cloth, strangling her neck in the process. Well, at least she's alive. The red devil appears again, crying with her mouth completely deformed and her hands completely amputated, exposing their bones. After what happened, Si Zhuo recognizes that Bai Luochen is truly something else. Can't blame you, madam. That's our Uncle Bai. Not long after, the damages taken by the red devil completely healed and regenerated. Elder Bai decided to end it by casting 4-star sword Tally Millennium. These are basically giant blades rising from the ground, severing the red devil's limbs. Flesh and blood of the red demon splash all over the place, and it seems like it can no longer regenerate. Not to mention, the hands of Si Zhuo were already amputated during the attack. The great pain she's suffering completely transforms her into a demon, the last step to reaching her immortality. She then attacks the two using her new power, blade-headed tentacles. As expected from these tentacles, any scene would surely turn into sus moments. Apparently, Elder Six could no longer use her power because of the perverted tentacles. She then starts licking the face of Elder Six. She then told Elder Bai to experience the same torture. But before she could even land a finger, he exploded like a Big Bang Theory, making her tentacles and upper body explode like a fountain of blood. This, however, could not kill her at all. For as long as she is connected to the veins of the earth, she will regenerate endlessly. Wow, that is a whole new level of regeneration. Majin Buu has a worthy opponent now. Realizing how serious this threat could be, Bai Luochen uses his own blood to summon a giant golden Shiva warrior. Elder Bai then uses his power to vanquish the wickedness and evil in flesh and blood of Si Zuo. Well, shall we call it a cleansing spell? However, Si Zuo told him that sealing her was not enough to stop her. Then, Bai Luochen uses his powerful axe to cut the veins of the earth altogether. Soon after that, he shrinks her size and turns her into an actual action figure. Seems like Uncle has now a newly added collection to his action figures.